I've already talked about quite a few coming-of-age movies on my channel. One thing I've yet to comment on, though, is the crazy influx of movies within the genre that had a female lead character in the 2010s. Springboarded by the likes of Easy A and Juno, the indie coming-of-age movie had a massive resurgence entering 2011. 8th Grade, Yes God Yes, Booksmart, and Lady Bird were all home run hits, getting praise from audiences and critics alike. But my personal favorite movie that has a female lead character from this decade is The Edge of 17. I remember going to see this movie in a theater by my college campus, and it was completely empty, and I was absolutely consumed by it. So, let's take a look at it. The movie follows Nadine, played by Hailee Steinfeld, who is a girl just trying to navigate her complicated high school years. When her only friend Krista hooks up with her brother one night, Nadine is sent into a manic and depressive spiral as the world around her crumbles. As everything is falling apart, we slowly learn more about Nadine's brother, mother, and an English teacher at her school. As Nadine comes to grips with what her new reality is, she starts to figure out that everything may not be as bad as it seems, and there are a lot of people that care about her. Regarding this video's title, I think The Edge of 17 has some of the best portrayals of youth cynicism in cinema. By textbook definition, cynicism stands for an inclination to believe that people are motivated purely by self-interest, skepticism. Nadine surely feels that the world is working against her ever since her father passed away. Her best friend is dating her brother is the family favorite, popular at school, and stole her friend. Then her mom doesn't care about her feelings and is always leaving to be with another guy. Nadine's dad and Krista were the only two things that made her happy, so when they both got taken away from her, it felt like the world was collapsing in. She assumes everyone was so busy moving forward with their lives that they never stopped to see if she needed anything. The thing is, Nadine never really tried to do anything extra to fix any of these problems. She rarely talked to new people and never checked in with her own family members, which led to this sort of passive lack of compassion. Now, is Nadine an awful person? No, not at all, and this movie clearly displays that. She just thinks she's the only one dealing with issues, and no one wants to be there for her. Since nobody seemingly wants to be there for her, she thinks they're all working against her, but fails to realize they are all struggling with their own problems as well. Now, it's easy to point to the massive red flag that is the lack of communication in this household. But I think it's more interesting to talk about the aforementioned cynicism. I think Nadine is a wonderful character because she's written in such a way that a lot of younger people can relate to what she is going through. I will admit, I've had my moments throughout my life where I could very easily compare my worldview to Nadine's. Everything was going wrong, nobody wanted to hang out, and my life wasn't on the path I was hoping it would be on. So I blamed other things for my problems, rather than trying to find different solutions to help the situation. Everyone goes through a lot of changes throughout middle school, high school, and college, so it's not surprising at some point you feel like everyone is worried about furthering themselves and you're being left in the dust. This is also even more prevalent today, where people are connected 24/7, and one Instagram post, Facebook update, or Snapchat story can leave you feeling out of the loop and unincluded. Having these more grounded films that have many realistic scenarios is always a pleasure to see, as I feel they can really be eye-opening and enlightening to some people viewing the movie.
You're so messed up. Man, do you even realize how sick in the head you are for bringing that up?
Oh, I'm sorry you feel guilty for never caring about anyone but yourself.
Oh, yeah, no, that's exactly it.
Face it, you're obsessed with yourself.
Oh,
While Hailee Steinfeld's performance is the real driving force behind this film, a lot of credit also needs to be given to writer-director Kelly Freeman Craig's script and Woody Harrelson playing Mr. Bruner. Throughout the movie, Nadine heavily relies on Mr. Bruner to help work through her problems. The thing is, he regularly pushes back on what she is saying in a really sarcastic, nonchalant manner. I think this is really key to the movie, as Nadine isn't someone who likes to be told what to do. Mr. Bruner's approach to communicating with her is almost this never-ending loop of self-deprecating humor, which seems really bad on paper, but these interactions clearly got through to Nadine, and it's a very realistic portrayal of how many younger generations handle their issues. Along with being relatable, he seems to be the first person to express his disdain of the world and his personal issues in a way that makes Nadine realize she isn't alone in this crazy battle of life. I think one of the more emotional scenes of the movie is when Nadine walks into Mr. Bruner's home and finds out he has a wife and baby. Nadine finally finds out this slightly bitter middle-aged man has this wholesome and loving sanctuary outside of the classroom. Her reaction to this is the turning point of the film, where pieces slowly start falling into place for her. I think this is where it clicks that there's more to life than high school and the present moment. There is light at the end of the tunnel, and I suppose more related to the conclusion of this film, there is still time to mend her family woes, and there is a boy that clearly likes her.
Am I really your favorite student?
I felt like the right thing to say.
Being a guy, there's also a lot in this movie I just cannot personally relate to. Obviously, the mother-daughter dynamic is one aspect that I may not personally get all of the emotions that the movie is trying to portray. The other aspect is definitely all of the different guy troubles that are displayed throughout the movie. It's not that I don't understand what the film is going for, but I know these moments in the film may not resonate with me as deeply compared to others that have had these experiences firsthand. But one thing I feel like I can comment on with some confidence is the brother, Darian. Towards the end of the film, Darian has a monologue about how he has just as many struggles as Nadine, and their mother relies on him to act as the father figure in the family, all while he's trying to keep up this squeaky clean image at school. I think this is a fantastic moment because Nadine clearly has a disconnect from her family struggles, and this moment ultimately leads to Hailee Steinfeld's even better monologue at the very end of the film. But that's besides the point I want to make here. I think Darian is still a dick. For someone who acts like he can see the struggles his sister and mom are going through, I feel like starting to date your younger sister's only friend is one of the douchiest things you could ever do. While I understand it's a movie, and that relationship is the biggest conflict of the film, I don't like how Darian gets away with a pretty shitty thing. The end of the movie pretty much paints him back into the squeaky clean image. There's also no major kickback on Krista for thinking it was okay to do that either, but I feel like Darian should have been the one to shoot that whole thing down from the start. But I can also overlook that because the final scene of Nadine going to see Erwin's short film at the film festival and being introduced to all his friends is such a sweet and heartwarming ending. I still don't like Darian that much though. The Edge of 17 is a movie that meant a lot to me when I first saw it in 2016, and it still holds up extremely well on a rewatch. It's a coming-of-age movie that isn't afraid to explore the issues troubling younger generations with a heavy dose of self-deprecation and nihilism. The film also has the viewers do a bit of self-reflecting, as maybe some issues in life can be solved by making a few changes on your outlook of life and mending broken relationships as well. Everything can and will get better, but then again, what do I know? I just talk about movies on YouTube. Maybe Nadine was right. There are two types of people in the world: the people who naturally excel at life, and the people who hope all those people die in a big explosion. I want to thank you for checking out my review of The Edge of 17. Please let me know what your thoughts are of the movie in the comments down below, and while you're down there, please drop a like and subscribe to the channel. It all goes a long way in helping me out. Thank you, and have a good one, everybody.